Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we're three people who can't get off the internet, apparently. All over the place.
We're 3 of the 7.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we are the Office Blokes, and our gaming channel is literally right there. We're just waiting for an updated version of our intro that we can add to the beginning of the videos.
It's coming. I'm thinking it's going to come today.
Right,
So
I hope so, because then we can launch this weekend.
At the
It'd be
weekend,
great.
that's the plan, isn't it? Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll be launching this weekend.
Yeah, good fun filming so far. Still working out the logistics of things like Among Us and Minecraft and like all those sort of things. But yeah, it's been really fun so far, so keep your eye out for that.
Onto it.
Yeah, right, 7 people who can't turn off the internet.
Who can turn off the internet?
Who can. Right, that's why my whole intro didn't work then.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know where you were with that. I know you're pretty good at turning off women.
Satisfy him and then sleep.
Just sleep, I think.
Well, sometimes they don't have no choice but to sleep when he puts that rag on the face.
Jesus. Ball bag. 7 people who can turn off the internet then, apparently. What's this?
I don't know.
You're just trying to introduce a video, aren't you, Dave? You get absolutely roasted.
You know, I'm practicing reading while I talk, because one day I'm going to be doing auto cues on some sort of game show. That's the plan. I'm going to be the next Jimmy Carr, just not funny or charismatic.
Well, a bit fucking next Jimmy Cranky, but yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
7 people who can turn off the internet.
The 7 people who can turn off the internet, let's do it.
Made possible by CuriosityStream. When you sign up for an annual subscription, you'll also get access to Nebula, now streaming HII's first ever 40-minute special, which premiered yesterday. It's about bricks. Happy now? Alright, so here's the deal. There's this group of nerds called ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, and they have handed out 7 keys to 7 individuals spread out across the world, and with those keys, you can shut down and reboot the internet. Now, normally, this is where I would make a bunch of bad jokes and call them stuff like the Fellowship of the Keys, or Key-I Joes, or You, Key, and Dupree, but we don't have time for that, because to understand these keys, you need to understand a bunch of complicated internet stuff that was very confusing for me to figure out, starting with DNS. In case you don't know what DNS is, because, I don't know, you had friends in college, I'll explain. All the computers that make up the internet...
I like this. I like these sly little digs here.
Yeah, good sense of humour.
This is fitting right into Dave's hands as well, isn't it?
Domain name services.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go. Yeah.
But it's funny the way he just calls them anyone that's involved in computer technology gets called nerds. Don't they?
Yeah.
And some of the smartest people in the world.
I was going to say the 2 richest people in the world are nerds nowadays. It's all flipping, isn't it?
That's the thing, yeah. Money there.
are identified via long numbers called IP addresses. But when I want to go to, for example, Twitter, because I want to scroll through an endless mix of hot takes, anger, harassment, product placement, and videos of Kanye West saying problematic things, but then it turns out he's actually a cake, I don't want to have to type in 199.59.148.0, which is the IP address of one of the servers that hosts Twitter. I just want to type www.twitter.com and then be taken there so I can get to my seeing photos of people partying during COVID-induced panic attack. So my computer has to translate twitter.com into the right IP address, and it does that first by asking a whole long line of things. First, of course, it asks Clippy, but Clippy doesn't know. So instead it asks your operating system, which maybe knows, but if it doesn't, it asks something called a recursive name server, which also maybe knows, but if it doesn't, it asks the world's 13 root servers, which send you to the appropriate top-level domain server, in this case the one that runs all the .coms, who sends you to the right authoritative name server, which eventually is like, oh, yeah, Twitter is 199.59.148.0. But you need someone to administer this whole system, to make sure, first of all, that IP addresses aren't handed out willy-nilly, and more importantly, to keep everything secure, so people can't come in and mess with it and say, hey, check it out, this IP address for irs.gov is actually this IP address, which goes to a site called free money, just give me your bank info first.totallylegit.net. So the DNS is authenticated through a system called DNSSEC. And I promise we're going to get to their mythical internet key soon, but first, you need to understand how DNSSEC works. The first important idea is asymmetrical encryption, which involves a private key and a public key, which are long numbers that are linked mathematically. The public key is a number everybody can know, but the private key is very secret and only held by one entity. And this is what's important. With the private key, you can make something called a digital signature over a document that someone can, by looking at the corresponding public key, go, oh man, based on what this public key says, I know that that signature was definitely made by the person with the corresponding private key.
Even though I know a little bit about this stuff, I'm finding it so dry.
I'm enjoying it, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's quite fascinating because I don't know a lot about it. So it's educational for me.
I always find it quite interesting when I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You get a lot of the space ones are like that. A lot of the stuff that come out with the space, you think, what are you talking about?
It
But
is a
I still find
mind-boggling.
it interesting.
It's mind-boggling sort of level of infrastructure, isn't it?
course
To
it
something
is.
globally
If you
like
actually
this
think about it,
is-
look at because you just take it for granted, don't you?
You can
Without
type
a
in
doubt,
pretty
but-
much any address that you want to find, and it instantly comes up. The access comes up with information on the screen. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking that's
It is
bizarre
crazy,
technology
yeah.
we've gone through in the last 20, 30
It's
years.
worldwide as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like going to find somewhere abroad, isn't it? And another continent, something can come up straight away.
If I want to know about a bar in fucking Rome before I go, I can find it on the internet and find out what's going on in that bar. Years ago, you couldn't do that.
No.
no chance.
So that just, the infrastructure is right down to small little things that you can go and see.
It's incredible.
It is impressive. I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's just a very dry topic to...
It is.
Oh, I think it's brilliant.
I do want to get into these guys holding keys, though. Guys or girls holding keys.
I don't think they're physically holding a key.
They might be holding USBs with some sort of encryption on it
I doubt it.
that they can all put in at the same time and then rotate the USB port. 3, 2.
They'd be proper
there we
nerds
go.
if that's
Away
how
we
it
go.
is. I'd be surprised if that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's how DNS is authenticated. The information saying twitter.com is 199.59.148.0 is signed by Twitter using their private key, and then my computer uses Twitter's public key, looks at the signature, and says, yep, this signature was definitely made using Twitter's private key, so the information must be legitimate. The problem is, we have to be sure that Twitter's public key, off of which I'm basing this analysis, is legit too. So Twitter's public key is signed by a higher authority, the top-level domain server who runs all .coms using their private key. And then I use their public key to be like, yep, this signature was made by the .com people. But to know that public key is legit, it's signed by an even higher authority, up and up and up, until it's signed off by ICANN, that nonprofit I mentioned earlier, using a single private key. Every single website's IP address in DNS is ultimately secured by ICANN's single public and private key, which is called the trust anchor. In fact, I can even show you ICANN's public key. It's this. And I shouldn't say this, but their private key, the super top secret number that secures the whole internet, is 742. Okay, look, I don't know their private key. I just wanted you to think I'm cool. Now, the numbers that make up the private key that secures the whole DNS are stored on hard drives inside physical boxes called hardware security modules, or HSMs for short, or H's for shorter, or H's for shortest. And there are 4 of them, kept in pairs in ICANN stations 2,500 miles apart, one in Culpeper, Virginia, and one in El Segundo, California. Once you get past the armed guards and pin pads and card scanners and biometric security stops and sword-fighting bears, to get into those physical HSM boxes that hold the secret number, you need several smart cards, and those smart cards are kept inside other boxes, which can only be opened with physical keys,
There you go.
which are, finally, held by 7 people across the world. Oh, I was kidding about the sword-fighting bears, by the way. ICANN actually uses nunchuck-wielding fish. The key holders aren't world leaders or anything, but just security experts designated by ICANN. In fact, I can show you who they are. It's these people. I know, not that exciting. Should DNS ever be compromised, 5 of the 7 key holders would have to go to an ICANN facility.
Just go back to them names because...
I think we're on the volume there.
Sorry, Dave.
Are you
designated
looking
by-
if you know one of them?
No, I just want to point
He
something
probably
out.
does.
Your name comes up.
In fact, I can show you who they are. It's these people. I know.
When you look at most powerful people in the world, right, and you think about your Putins of the world,
Yeah.
your Joe Bidens of the world, and people like this. Okay, none of them you know.
I know, yeah.
I think
You've
that's
never heard of any of them, but look how one's in Burkina Faso.
I think that's the point, isn't it? Less corruptible if they're sort of...
What, in Burkina Faso? Sat there in Ouagadougou
Is that a
with his
place?
key. The capital.
It's nice to know there's a Norm on the list anyway.
Norm Ritchie.
Norm.
It is like having just watched the Pentaveret a couple of weeks ago on
Yeah.
Netflix, and that's all they've all got. I think there's 5 of them, and they've all got keys and stuff. It's like it's almost based on this. It's bizarre.
What
Maybe
happens
it
if
is.
this goes down, though?
Yeah.
What happens if there's a fire?
You think it'd be...
Probably thought that through. I guess.
I'm
You
sure
think
they
it'd
have,
be-
mate.
Yeah.
You think they'd be sort of like anonymous, wouldn't you, really? Because,
No,
if people
anonymous.
know who they are.
Anonymous are hackers, though.
Right, okay.
Yeah. This is just fascinating for me, man.
It
How
is.
powerful these guys are to sort of
Well,
infiltrate. I mean, how good at these internet security as well?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be top level, aren't
That's
they?
what I'm saying. Proper
Hugely.
boffins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Massively.
I think the thing about what if there's a fire, one of the big things about internet security is always redundancy, isn't it? So although there's this one place with the one thing, there's going to be something somewhere else that's in a bunker that's a complete backup of that.
With
It's have to be.
I'm sure these backups have to
systems
back
and-
up on this.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
all sort of like well secure.
Yeah, it'd have
But
to
I'm
be.
just looking at them countries as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there's got to be.
You've got China involved.
I mean, we do actually lead the world in a lot of ways in cybersecurity and stuff. We've got a lot of proper
Yeah.
boffins over here, so it makes sense we're on it. United States and China makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But the other ones, Burkina Faso, Trinidad, Czech, Canada.
Maybe it's just if they're qualified for the job, and it's
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
incidental
They might not necessarily
where
be.
they're
They
coming
might
from,
not necessarily
you
be
know?
them nationalities, but that's where they're based.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they're the CEOs of the biggest companies that
Yeah,
run
security,
cybersecurity.
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be India on there though, because they're quite big. with it as
Exactly.
well.
That's the one I was.
Maybe,
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
India's missing.
Yeah, true.
But again, you're open to corruption in certain countries. Not saying India's a corrupt country, but it is.
But they do literally have call centres phoning you from Microsoft to get you.
Having said that, maybe that's why the names are public, because maybe they're a bit more incorruptible, because people know who they are, they know where they live, they know what they do on a day-to-day basis. You know, if they were anonymous, then people could kidnap them and do all sorts, couldn't they? But
Yeah, but you need all 7 keys, wouldn't you?
5 keys. I think
5
that was
keys,
the
that
point
they
he was
said.
making.
Right.
Yeah.
it'd have to be a hell of a job, wouldn't it, to
That'd
get
be a
all
proper
of them?
kidnapping case, wouldn't it?
It would be a bit.
That'd be a film.
You'd
It
never
would
get,
be a film. It's like, yeah.
You'd never
Yeah.
get into the place, so would you, in America, where the actual hard drives are kept?
What if
You
you were
just
to work
wouldn't
there? What if you're a shape-shifting lizard that actually runs the world?
get- Oh, dear.
And you can flatten yourself like a pancake and go
You-
under the door.
Just being utterly ridiculous now.
Who would you go for first? Bevel Woodin.
Well, you wouldn't go.
The last guy would be Andre Shuri.
To be fair, you only need 5, so you can tick off 2 of those countries. I'd probably tick off China.
To take him first.
No, I'd
Or her.
probably not go to
Not
China.
go there. Yeah. I wouldn't go to see Musa in Burkina Faso. It's proper
Fair
shit going down there.
Yeah. Get
Fine,
Paul,
fine.
Paul, go for Paul first. He'll be in the pub somewhere, won't he? Gotta be.
Planning a
Some bread.
kidnapping here.
That exciting. Should DNS ever be compromised, 5 of the 7 key holders would have to go to an ICANN facility, use their keys in what's called a key ceremony to get to the smart cards, then use those smart cards to physically open the box with ICANN's private key in it, and use that to shut DNS, and with it, much of the functionality of the internet down and reset it. Some people say the key holders are the most powerful people in the world. But whoever said that is an idiot, because clearly the most powerful people in the world are the half as interesting commenters who spent literal years demanding that we make a video about bricks, because guess what? We finally did it. And it's way more than just another HI video. It's a 40-minute long special called The Brick Facade.
The brick facade.
Very
Do you know
good.
what a great
Yeah.
channel that is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
No,
Are we,
segue
That's the
there
first
again,
one
as
we've done from
usual.
that channel, I think. What's it called? Half as interesting. I'm having that.
Interact. Well, we'll subscribe
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
having that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. He found a lot of humour in what is technically a very dry
I
sort
agree.
of topic.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, great narration, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, and
That
it
just
just
shows
right
how
past
powerful
feet.
these guys are, though.
No, it's a massive thing, isn't it? Because, like I said, just completely worldwide, the internet.
But do you know
Oh, it's changed the world, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
The world's
hugely.
changed because of the internet.
Did you hear
Absolutely.
what the whole thing he actually said though was they put their keys in, they get the key cards, they get access to DNS, then they reset it. So they switch it off and on again.
At the switch, at the plug.
So it ain't that technically advanced.
Switch it off and on again.
Paul, plug it out as well. Plug out. No, take
Hold
it
it
out.
for 10 seconds. Yeah.
Put it back in.
Yeah, wait for the beep, and then the internet's back, and we were all out of internet for 2 minutes, and the whole world would have descended into chaos by that point.
Can you imagine?
Rioting
I mean,
in the streets.
The amount of
How
things
do you,
that
how
rely
do
on
you,
it.
how do you
it's,
communicate without the
unbelievable.
internet, though? No.
Well, we've still got cell phone towers, mobile phone towers that we'd still have normal signal. We just wouldn't
Satellite
have-
receivers rely on the internet as well, do they?
I
phone
don't know.
signals
no,
and
'cause
stuff.
I
No.
think GPS doesn't and things
I
like
wouldn't
that.
have thought so. That's
That's a
different,
separate
isn't it?
sort of
GPS.
protocol, isn't it?
Yeah. But
We'd
yeah,
be all right.
interesting. Yeah.
We'd survive. But everyone
Kids
that,
wouldn't.
no,
Kids would freak out.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
everyone whose whole business infrastructure is based in the cloud because that's the future, and then everything just disappears.
Like us.
Yeah.
No, we're
We're
not.
not in the cloud,
we're
are we?
We're not.
Oh,
No,
that's
we're
right.
off. We're off
That's
grid.
right. That's right.
Off grid.
Anyway,
Can't find our
Good on
money.
what money?
Exactly. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. I don't know
I
about
did.
you guys.
Yeah,
That was
I
brilliant.
did.
Yeah. Really good.
Don't forget like and subscribe. Hit the bell. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.